Hi everyone, and welcome to the Serenely Sorted Academy Open Evening. Really delighted that you're watching tonight, and I want to share with you all about the Serenely Sorted Academy tonight to really give you a picture of what's involved, how you go about doing it, who it's for, and why you should do it. So it's all about transforming your life and home for the long term. That's what, in a nutshell, joining the Serenely Sorted Academy will help you achieve. So why the Serenely Sorted system? What's different about this? Why should people look to the Serenely Sorted system to help them transform their lives and homes? Well, there's a few things about the Serenely Sorted system that I believe are truly different. The first is the system itself is unique. And why is that? Well, it's because I've looked at the age-old task of tidying with fresh eyes. And that's because of my corporate career, where I spent more than 20 years looking at systems and processes and looked at how to achieve them while still maintaining a high quality, but do them more efficiently in less time and just do them better. So I did a lot of things around automation of processes and streamlining of processes. And of course, whoever looks at the age-old task of tidying and thinks about it in a different way, well, I've looked at the age-old task of tidying with fresh eyes. And why? It's because I find tidying a drudgery. I don't want to spend my whole life tidying, but I still want a great looking home. So how would I achieve that? It's all part of the Serenely Sorted system. The other thing is it's practical first, pretty second. And a lot of the systems out there that you see on social media are all about making, when you open the cupboard, things look pretty with nice labels and matchy. And, you know, that's great. And if you want to achieve that, and if that's your primary goal is to see things like that and, you know, enjoy the aesthetic of them, fantastic. But is that really practical? I look at a lot of those systems and think, could you really maintain that even if you took the trouble to set it up in the first place? And I truly believe there's really probably only 5 of those amazing pantries in the world where everything's beautifully organized and labeled and decanted into jars. And in actual fact, most of us are just trying to, you know, achieve the basics, and we want something that's accessible, that's practical and functional, and that will help us maximize our cupboard space, because of course most of us don't have a massive walk-in pantry to make look beautiful. We've got small kitchens that we need to use the space as best we can, and that's what the Serenely Sorted system achieves. It's also sustainable. And that means that once you've learnt the system and you've launched it in your home, it will carry on working with some small maintenance, doing a lot of the work for you, and your life will be different. You'll spend less time tidying than you ever did before, but you'll have a tidier home than you ever thought that you could achieve. So, what can you achieve in the Academy? What are the transformations that this will bring to your life? Well, I want to go back really, and some of you may have seen this before. This was me nearly 2 years ago. I worked from home. I had a very busy corporate job and a family and all the things. And we'd moved into our home like a couple of years before, and we love our home, and it's our forever home. I wanted it to look good. But what happened after living there for 2 years was the piles started to build up. I couldn't get away from the piles, and the mess stress started, where I just couldn't sit down and relax because I was always thinking about all the things that needed to be done, and I was overwhelmed trying to do everything, and I had that nagging voice in my head just keeping on saying, oh well, what about that pile over there? We need to sort the kids' rooms, this needs tidying. So I had no peace or time to myself, and I really resented spending my weekends tidying. I wanted to spend it with my family or relaxing or doing something I enjoyed. And it didn't help that I was naturally messy. And basically I was stuck in this tidy mess loop. And I couldn't see a way out of when I'd be able to spend less time tidying if I wanted my home to look good. I also couldn't find things. Things got lost to the pile, and I'd end up buying new hairbrushes because I couldn't find the previous ones, even though I knew I had 3 or 4 somewhere. And of course, that resentment, the time tidying, eating into my free time. So I knew I needed to do something. And that's when I had this penny drop moment to think and look at things differently, and use my corporate skills to look at that challenge of tidying in a new way and think about doing things differently to get the same or a better result, but with less effort on my part. So what have I achieved since learning and launching the system myself and living it in my home? Well, I just ask you some questions really, because these are the things that I've achieved, and just think, do you want these? Do you want to get back to tidy every day super fast where it hardly feels like tidying anymore? If you've taken part in the Sorter Surface Challenge, you'll have got a small taste of what it's like to be back to tidy and how good that feels, and how much better you'll feel in the evening when you sit down, that moment at the end of the day where you can truly relax because you're not being triggered by what's on those surfaces, and you can really enjoy some peace. Do you want to eliminate mess? And yes, that does mean that the mess isn't there in the first place. My makeup basket here, since implementing this, which is part of the system, I have never, not once, had any piece of makeup sitting on my sink. My sink is always clear. The only things that live on top of the sink are the toothbrush, toothpaste, and hand soap now. And that is very different to what it was like before, things littering the sink. The simple system of this makeup basket and the tools it uses from the system absolutely have transformed my bathroom, as have I transformed many areas of my home to eliminate mess. You may have a paper pile in your house. Certainly I had piles and piles and then mega piles. Do you want to rid yourself of that paper pile? I know I had to, because things were getting lost to that pile, bills forgotten, a frantic time looking for this manual or that document, stress that goes with that. With the system, you learn the Piles to Smiles system, where you can rid yourself of your paper pile. What you then get once you've launched the system is headspace to tackle that clutter that you have under the bed, and because you've sorted all the daily debris on your surfaces. And that's something that you get later on as a result of launching the system. And ultimately, ridding yourself of that mess, stress, and nagging voice in your head. Serenity. It's not called Serenely Sorted for nothing. That's exactly what I want you to ultimately feel from learning the Serenely Sorted system. Serenity in your life. Have that smile on your face like I do here. Be able to relax and switch off at your weekend. That is the sense of truly being serenely sorted. So that's all the transformations that I've had since learning, launching, and living the system, and loving my home again, actually. And you can have the same. So who is the Academy for? It's not for absolutely everyone, but see if you recognize yourself in any of these groups here. So if you're naturally messy, like I am, then this system is perfect, because it gives you real practical ways of managing that and getting back to tidy and managing that natural messiness. Overwhelmed parents, particularly at the moment, there's so much that we need to do. And this is just one area that you can really help reduce the mess stress and reduce that overall overwhelm that you experience. So if you're mess stressed, this is definitely for you. If you find tidying a drudgery, like I do as well, and you want to do less of it, this will help you achieve that. And you might be in that mess tidy loop like I was. just not seeing any progress and half your life spent tidying seemingly, this can help. Or you just want to get tidy in less time because you've got better things to do with your life. So this is for you if you are one of those things. If you just want to have perfect labeled spice jars and sort your crayons into colours and you have the time to do that, then you absolutely should do that. Serenely Sorted is probably not for you if that's the case, because this is all about doing it in less time, and it doesn't focus so much on the aesthetic. It focuses on the practical ways that you can do that. But if you are any of these things, naturally messy, overwhelmed parents, mess stressed, tidying's a drudgery, you just can't get out of that mess tidy loop and want to do it in less time, then you're in the right place. So how does the Academy work? What's involved? Well, there's 4 aspects of the Academy that I think make it really different and really work. The first is the way it works with the time and the motivation. I have seen courses, and I've actually bought courses where I found out then it involved spending 8 hours learning this thing. Of course, I never got to the end of that course because I just couldn't find time for that. If I can't find time for tidying my home, how am I going to find time to spend 8 hours? So this course is designed in bite-sized videos without waffle or padding so that you can just get on with it. Also, people are motivated in different ways and have different amounts of time to allocate to these things. So this has a system of email goal setting, and you can choose a 1 month or a 3 month target for when you want to achieve the system implementation, the launching of the system, and the emails will help keep you on track. Obviously, I want to be involved and to help you and support you through this process, but at the same time, you want to plan and learn the courses, those bite-sized chunks, whenever it suits you. So we keep that personal touch by having a live launch where I orientate you to all the materials in the system at the beginning of the program. And then we have twice a month Q&As where you can jump on, ask me anything you want to ask me about the stage you're at in the program. And those Q&As, there'll be one in the daytime, one in the evening to suit different time zones and personal circumstances. There's also a Facebook community dedicated to you and supporting you. Everyone has different learning styles, so I provide different materials that work for different people. Some people can just do it from the head and just do it. Other people like worksheets. I've designed it so when you're implementing, you can watch the relevant video and then launch. So you just use the materials as you go along. And of course, the unique framework for launching gives you an absolutely simple but effective framework for going around your house and doing it. And there's something called the End Home card deck that helps you plan where you're going to put things. And of course, it has to be valuable to you. And this is value in the sense that it's transformative. This is what you will get. This is how your home will change. And I always think, you know, our home is the biggest thing that we spend money on in our lives, whether it's a mortgage or whether we're renting. And, you know, we move into our homes. We love our homes when we move in. But then over time, the piles build up and you know, perhaps we fall a bit out of love with it because it isn't a serene space where we can enjoy being. There's all the mess, all the piles, all the things. So the Serenely Sorted system, which is a unique system, is transformative. And this is about giving you that value to what you can experience in your home. And it has all the tools and concepts from the Serenely Sorted system. There's nothing that you don't get here. And it's got an unparalleled bonus pack, which I'll explain later. And of course, it is, I believe, really unique. People sometimes ask, can the whole household get involved? If it can work, can it work for everyone, including the kids? And the answer is absolutely yes. In our home, The kids are responsible for their rooms. They help with the process. They know what end homes are. They know where the end homes are in their rooms. Every home is different. I will give you the tools and the tactics to get the whole household involved. What about the time investment? Will it take me hours and hours to learn and set up in my home? Well, as I've said, the program is designed to be in bite-sized chunks so that you can learn and then launch as you go with the video guides. Of course, it depending on how what your home is like, there is a time investment for launching the system. And I tend to split it up into launching for your main living areas where you spend most of your time, where you get the Serenity value most. And I suggest that you dive in and launch the system in those areas. And that, of course, does take some time investment. You might put aside a weekend to do this. And then for the rest, for the bedrooms, for going around your home and the other areas, you can do a little chunk a week. So the time investment becomes much less. And this is exactly how I did it. I launched it in my main living areas, and then I've done it gradually over time. Is it value for money? What am I gaining from this? Well, as I said, it's about the transformations that you're achieving. It's about gifting yourself that life where you can relax more, rid yourself of that nagging voice in your head, and truly get that serenity and eliminate mess and all the time that you'll save not tidying in the future. It may not exactly be a unicorn, but I really feel that Serenely Sorted is very unique and practical and fills that void for most of us who just want to get tidy in less time, but aren't quite sure how to achieve that. So what's actually covered in the Serenely Sorted system in the Academy? What actually happens? Well, just to remind ourselves of what Serenely Sorted does, it focuses on the daily debris first, what we can see on our surfaces, because by eliminating that mess, we can really achieve a much better mental health, less mess stress, because we're not being triggered by what we see, and everything looks so much tidier. Then we focus on our daily use cupboards to make them maximize the space. And eventually we get to the clutter under the bed. So it's not the other way around. This is about our daily debris first. And of course, Serenely Sorted is the mindset first and foremost. And that is a huge part of the system. It's about our behavior and how through small changes to our behavior, we can eliminate mess. So those concepts are driven throughout the program. So the first stage is the live orientation. So let's begin live with Diana. We take a tour of all the materials that you have in your online software pack and how you can go about using those effectively and the approach you can take. Then you learn the system concepts, and these are the bedrock, the core of the system. So the Serenely Sorted soul, the actual fundamental concepts of the system. We talk about serene space dividers and end homes in depth. Then we're going to think about launching the system. So once we have all those concepts embedded, we give ourselves a framework for how we can launch the system throughout our home. And that all starts with awareness of what's causing the mess and creating that mindset for change. You start small. Some of you may have completed the Sorter Surface Challenge, and this goes into a bit more depth on that part of the program. And then it's the attack phase, attacking all areas of your home step by step. And this is where the toolkit is so practical, because there's video guides that show how to make it 100% clear how to launch the system in each area of your home with a master plan to tick off. And it starts with the main living areas and all the different categories of mess that we have there, and then through bedrooms, bathrooms, and going deeper into the clutter areas. And of course, that paper pile. And what we want to do after that, of course, is to live the system and change for the long term. So that's all about mindset, planning for change over time to make sure that we recognise that and adapt the system, seasonal sorts, and then all aboard. So they're getting everyone on board with the system because we want to love our home life. That's what we want ultimately. So there you have it, the live launch, the learn the system, launch it with the framework and the bite-sized videos, and then the live the system phase. And to support all of this, there is a bonus toolkit filled with goodies that help support this achievement. There's a tracking toolkit where there's worksheets, different materials that help you achieve each phase. There's the email task list where you can choose the 1 or the 3 month emailing packs, which will deliver you the sort of what you should achieve week by week. There's the end home cards, which are really, really great for visualizing and deciding and planning how you launch. And there's the starter set that you will get if you sign up in the fast track time period. Live Q&As twice a month to support your launch, and the community where you can post and share as you go. So there you have it, the unique Serenely Sorted system, where you learn the system, launch the system, and live the system so that you can love your home, perhaps again. So how do I sign up to the Academy? Well, there is a launch page, which I'll put in the post so that you have the access to it. It's also on my website. And this takes you to a page where you can actually look at some of the materials I've just been sharing and read a bit more. There's also a video here. I talked about the 6 transformations earlier, but this provides a video so you can actually see those in action for me in my home. And there you have it. So you can have a look at that. You can guess the price, a bit more than 2 rounds of Botox, but less than a flight to Spain. And of course, what you're paying for there is the transformation of what you're having. And that means that you're going to be able to basically holiday at home. And that is priceless, because that's where we spend at least 300 days of our year. And we want it to be a serene space where we truly feel like we can relax and enjoy our homes. So thank you for watching, and come on this journey with me to learn to love your home again with the Serenely Sorted Academy. So if you have any questions at all, just message me or email me, diana@serenelysorted.com. I look forward to welcoming you onto the Serenely Sorted Academy.